Hello, Ravens flock, and welcome back to Baltimore Talk. And ladies and gentlemen, I told you it was coming. I promised it. We are live here in a studio. I'm not going to tell you which one, but I told you, ladies and gentlemen, I would bring changes this year, this season on Baltimore Talk. I promised it, I want to say week 2. Yes, week 2, that by week 4's coverage, we would be coming live in color, in person. And here we are. It's the same old Baltimore Talk. I'm going to be doing the same stuff, but from now on, you're going to be saying my handsome face. I hope you like it, but get used to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so what I'm going to be covering today is our Week 4 coverage against the Cleveland Browns. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest, that was an interesting game. I don't want to say interesting bad. Well, I mean, it was interesting bad on Cleveland's part just because everybody's been saying, oh, they don't have Deshaun Watson. It would have been a lot different. And I'm just going to get this right out of the way, get this out of the air now. Half our starting offense is still hurt. Half our starting offense is still down. So I don't know what they want to say. And again, you guys know, I don't like dragging a team through the mud. I don't like defacing other teams because that's not what we're about here on Baltimore Talk. That's not what I'm about personally. But I just did want to address that real fast, real quick. Just say, listen, you might not have had your starting quarterback and everything, but we still don't have half our starting offense. But overall, it was a great game. I'm really glad we got to make up for our Week 3 debacle against Indianapolis. So we definitely fixed what we needed to fix within a week's time. Definitely did what we had to do, handled our business like Baltimore football, like we do, and we got it pushing and got it moving and caught the dub. So, like we always do, I'm going to go through everything. But like I said, it's just going to be on camera now. So, starting with the coin toss, Browns did win, chose to defer. And as I always say, it's a smarter option, as we always like to do. And one other piece of news, Tyler Lindenbaum, our center, did come back for this game. So we did get a good piece of the puzzle back. Starting off with 1st and 10, Gus Edwards, he ran for 6. 2nd and 4, there was a false start on us, so that backed us up 5 yards. 2nd and 9, there was a pass to Gus again, this time for only 3. 3rd and 6, Lamar kept it himself for only 2. And then 4th and 4, we do have to punt the ball away. And I will say this right up front right now, we punted a lot yesterday. A lot than Jordan Stout likes to punt in a game, more than definitely John Harbaugh likes to punt. But it was okay because everybody's been saying Cleveland's defense is the one to beat this year, and they really had us on us yesterday. I don't even know a better way to explain it or put it in actual English. But going to 1st and 10 for Cleveland, they ran for 25 yards, but there was a holding call on them, so that got pulled back. 1st and 10 again, they only go for 7. 2nd and 3, it was a loss of 2, but there was an illegal shift on Cleveland, so that backed them up again. 3rd and 5, they pass over the middle for 15 this time, so that gives them a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10, they only gain 2. 2nd and 8, Roquan Smith, our boy, he broke up the pass. So now on 3rd and 8, their rookie, well, was he a rookie? I don't believe he's a rookie, but their backup quarterback, he ended up almost getting sacked, but ended up throwing it incomplete. So now on 4th and 8, Cleveland does have to punt the ball away, sending it back our way. 1st and 10, Gus Edwards, he picks up 7. 2nd and 3, Lamar unfortunately did get sacked in the backfield. Not very happy about that. I mean, the pocket did collapse on him. And as I said last week, I want to say, if we give him too much or he spends too much time in the pocket, something bad's going to go wrong. There's either going to be a fumble like there was a lot of last week, or there was going to be a sack, or it's just going to have to get thrown away. And like I said last week, when it comes to that ball, if there's nobody open and he can't run, just dump it away. Just throw it away. Get rid of it. That would be this better thing than taking the sack. But unfortunately, we did have to take the sack on that one. So now on 3rd and 8, there was a false start on us, so we got that backed up by 5. Then our boy Mark Andrews, he ends up getting a nice pass right over to him for 7. But on 4th and 6, we have to punt the ball away again. So that sends it right back to Cleveland. It's a little bit of a back and forth. It's still 0-0 here. 1st and 10, they only gained 7. 2nd and 3, there was a very deep pass on Cleveland's part. This one was rendered incomplete. So now on 3rd and 3, here's where it starts. Here's where that gravy train starts rolling for Baltimore. On 3rd and 3, the ball is tipped bar our boy Roquan Smith. Then Brandon Stevens, he catches it in midair, and they tried to say he was down on this one, but the ruling on the field stood. He wasn't down because he picked it up, caught it, and ran it for 51 yards, ladies and gentlemen. 51 yards. It was absolutely crazy. If I could pull up a replay, I would. But unfortunately, again, like I've said multiple times, I'm not ESPN. I'm not there yet, but you guys can help me get there by supporting and everything. But this man, he literally catches it straight out of the air, gets up, picks up, runs it straight down. Absolutely beautiful. Man, it was a great play, I swear. Then this one here, 1st and goal, Lamar ends up looking, can't find a man, runs it straight up the center, sticks his hand out, run it, absolutely gets the touchdown. Beautiful 2 plays back-to-back. A beautiful 51-yard catch after a tipped ball, and then a nice touchdown by our boy Lamar. That putting us up 7-0 with 6:38 left in the first quarter. And like I said, this is where that gravy train starts rolling. So now on 1st and 10 for Cleveland, it's they gain a 5. Then on 2nd and 5, they do convert on downs. 1st and 10, they gain 2. 2nd and 8, gain of 7 on a pass here. So now 3rd and 1, it was a deep pass, this time incomplete. There was an pass interference flag on us, so that ended up giving them 37 yards because it was at the spot of the foul, as it always is. Unfortunately, not very happy about that one. However, we do kind of make up for it because on 1st and 10, we end up pulling that quarterback back for a big loss of 20 yards. We end up taking him down for a loss of 20. So now on 2nd and 30, they run for X amount of yards, didn't even say, but there was an illegal forward pass on this one because the quarterback, he's looking, starts to take it, just steps over the line of scrimmage and flicks it to his guy. So that was an illegal forward pass after the line of scrimmage. So now on 3rd and 31, they gain only 5 yards here. So on 4th and 26, they end up kicking a 53-yard field goal, making it 7-3 with 2 minutes, 21 seconds left in the first quarter. Now, 1st and 10. We end up getting a broken pass to our boy Zay Flowers. However, he will get his time to shine in the spotlight a little bit later in this game. So 2nd and 10, Gus Edwards, he ends up getting taken down for a loss of 1. 3rd and 11, Devin Duvernay, he ends up getting a loss of 2. So now on 4th and 13, we end up having to punt the ball away. Now on 1st and 10, back on Cleveland side, we almost sacked the quarterback. Very close. Very close. However, they end up trying to pass it, couldn't get anywhere. It was a loss of 1. That's what ends the first quarter. 7-3 right now. We're doing relatively well. I'm not very happy that we've been forced to 3-4, I can't count, 3 and outs. But again, that's just Cleveland's number 1 defense in the league doing Cleveland number 1 defense. And I got to give it to them. Cleveland's defense was really on point yesterday. And I had seen through social media, everybody saying, Cleveland's defense got steamrolled, this, that, and the third. They must have only caught highlights of the game because first quarter, especially a little bit into even the second quarter, their defense was really pushing us. And I'm sitting there while I'm watching, I'm like, wow, we're really getting stopped here. We have the opportunities, but I have to give my flowers and give credit to Cleveland's defense for them putting up a very tough fight. But let's get back on track here. Now, starting off the second quarter, on 2nd and 11, Cleveland, loss of 1. So now 3rd and 12, we end up sacking their quarterback as their pass was short. So we end up sacking the QB. Now on 4th and 6, they end up having to punt the ball away. 1st and 10, back on us. Justice Hill, he gets the ball. He gets the first down. 1st and 10, Mark Andrews, same thing. Gets a beautiful pass for the first. 1st and 10, Gus Edwards, he ends up running for just 5. 2nd and 5, now we get an incomplete pass. There was a flag. It was hands to the face. We ended up declining that penalty because there was 2 flags on that one. Hands to the face and pass interference. So we decline the hands to the face, take the pass interference, take the first down, call it a day. Now on 1st and 10, Zay Flowers gets a nice 7-yard pass. Like I said, I told you he'd get his flowers. No pun intended. But now 2nd and 3, the ball is fumbled on a handoff. So I want to say this is a little bit of a miscommunication on the play between Gus Edwards and Lamar Jackson because Lamar, it looked like he was trying, if you saw the replay and saw the zoom up, it looked like he was trying to flick it to him from the way he was passing it. And then Gus just had his hands open, wide open, ready for just a closed handoff. But he kind of lightly flicked it to him, so I feel like there was just a tiny bit of a miscommunication on that play, and he couldn't end up recovering it. And Cleveland ended up getting that ball back and recovering that fumble. So it's now 1st and 10 on Cleveland. They only gained 4 here, 2nd and 6. They end up getting an incomplete pass. 3rd and 6, they end up converting on downs. 1st and 10, no gain. 2nd and 10, gain of 6. Now 3rd and fall. Our boy Venoy, he ends up blocking this pass here. He got his hands up, slapped that junk out of the air, said, get that out of here, not today. So now on 4th and 4, Cleveland has to punt the ball away. 8:42 left in the first half. Still doing pretty good. 1st and 10 on us here. Gain of 4 by our boy Gus Edwards. 2nd and 6. Gus ends up getting the first. I'm telling you, this man was crazy. 1st and 10. Mark Andrews. Beautiful hands open pass. Rushes it for 36 yards. Then back. Dude, absolutely crazy. Like this is why people say, I know Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce is a quarterback tight end dynamic duo for the ages, but don't count out Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, because I want to say it, they run the AFC when it comes to QB tight end relationship. When you think of Lamar Jackson, you automatically think of Mark Andrews. And I know people this year have been saying Lamar Jackson, Odell. Do not sleep on our boy Mark Andrews. I've said it before and I'll say it 100% again. Do not sleep on our boy Mark Andrews, because this is what he does. This has been Mark since day one. Ever since him and Lamar touched the same football, became teammates, it's been gravy ever since. But let's get it going again here. 1st and 10, our boy Justice Hill, he ends up going for 15. 1st and 10, he ends up going for 7. 2nd and 3, our boy Melvin Gordon, just like last week, absolutely crushed it. He ends up running this one for 22 yards. 22 yards. Like, we're absolutely cutting this field, chopping it down, just marching down, moving those chains, playing Ravens football like we're known to do and like we always do. Absolutely amazing. So now on 1st and 10, or 1st and goal, Lamar Jackson ends up getting taken down. He couldn't go anywhere, so that's a no gain. 2nd and goal, Lamar, touchdown, baby. Second TD, his second TD of the day. Absolutely crazy. And this one here, there was a flag. It was offsides in the neutral zone. Someone from Cleveland was already lined up in the neutral zone, so that was a flag. But we end up saying, you know what, forget it. Penalties declined. We got the touchdown. Now it's 14-3, 4:18 left in the first half. And ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we are making up for that debacle last week. Absolutely going ham and going crazy. So now, 1st and 10 for Cleveland. Gain of 6 here. 2nd and 4, no gain on this one. Actually ended up being a loss of 2. So now on 3rd and 6, it was a deep drop back. Their quarterback dropped way back, ended up throwing an incomplete pass. So now on 4th and 6, Cleveland is forced to punt the ball away again. So now on 1st and 10, Justice Hill ends up taking it for 55 yards, ladies and gentlemen. 55 yards into Cleveland territory. But guess what? Baltimore can't ever have anything nice. The minute we do something good, something bad's bound to happen. Flag on the play, holding on Baltimore. So that got us pulled all the way back. 1st and 20 now. Gus Edwards, gain of 16. Excuse me. Little dry throat there. But 1st and 20, Gus Edwards running it for 16. Now we hit the 2-minute warning here. Moving to the next page, you know. Got to keep the notebook fresh. Got like I said, I keep everything rolling here. 2nd and 4, our boy Zay Flowers gets the first down. Beautiful. There wasn't, again, an offsides in the neutral zone. I don't know how Cleveland lining up in the neutral zone. It's like, you know where the ball is. Just don't line up over it. Apologies again, Ravens flock. But 1st and 10 now. Lamar Jackson, he ends up having to pick up 3 on the scramble because he couldn't find anybody. Ends up doing the shake move. Only scrambles for 3. Now on 2nd and 7, Gus Edwards, he ends up running for only 1. And our boy Morgan Moses did getting hurt. So we end up taking our first time out of the half here. Now 3rd and 6, it was a high floater pass to Melvin Gordon. And wow. It was big air. I'm talking Tony Hawk Pro Skater air. And this one, we ended up getting the first down, so I'll say that. 1st and 10, Lamar did end up getting sacked again. 2nd and 19, Melvin Gordon, he ends up he gains X amount of yards, but they didn't say it because, again, flag on the play, holding on Baltimore. So now on 2nd and 29, our boy Zay Flowers here, and here is where his highlight was. 43-yard catch. Lamar beamed it downfield, and Zay Flowers in traffic, in trouble, reels it in and gets it going. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to go from here. Like this man, rookie, absolutely crazy yesterday. Absolutely crazy. Straight baller, ladies and gentlemen. Now on 1st and 10, Lamar kept it himself 4-5. We do take our second time out here. So now on 3rd and 5, here it is. Mark Andrews, like I said, this time in really deep trouble in the end zone. Yoink! Touchdown for Mark Andrews. Our 3rd touchdown already in the first half. And this one, again, if I could show the replay, I would. I would have it right over my head because this play was absolutely stellar. Lamar beams it straight in the middle of traffic. It goes through the Cleveland guy. Mark Andrews reels it in, gets that touchdown like he's known to do. And he was putting up points, yards, and touchdowns yesterday. Mark Andrews was going crazy yesterday. So now it's 21-3, 11 seconds left in the half. Cleveland, they just knee it in the first half. And with quarter 2, that puts us up, like I said, 21-3. In my halftime thoughts, only 3 of them. Very short, very easy, very simple. We had a very good first half. Very good. Definitely, like I said, making up for last week's mess up, especially, not having any rain. That really helped it. But I don't know what to say. Like, we had a very good first half. It was so nice. Only thing we will have to say, that one play between Lamar and Gus, make sure that ball is secure. Make sure you both are on the same page. Make sure everything is golden. Make sure everything is good. Other than that, just make sure communication is good. And he did take a couple sacks. So all I will say about this is, if you need to, just dump the ball away. That's all I got to say. Those are my only halftime notes. Usually, I have more. You all know how I feel when it comes to halftime. And since Cleveland deferred, they get the ball at the start of the 3rd quarter. We're just going to dive right into it right here. 1st and 10 for Cleveland. They end up gaining 4. It was a pitch and catch, so little pitch, catch, gone. 2nd and 6. This was a missed tackle on us. I don't know how we wrapped him up, but he slid through our arms like butter. What's going on? And okay, maybe I'll add that to my halftime notes. Actually, no, that one will go for the final thoughts. I'll say that. But come on, guys, wrapping up fundamentals 101. I've had that discussion before, but it's okay, even though they did convert. 1st and 10. Patrick Queen, our defensive star, ends up getting the sack on their quarterback. I don't know what to say, man. This is why I love Patrick Queen, because his awareness to be able to focus on the ball, focus on the quarterback, see where the play is in development, and just break it up and just take down the quarterback. So 2nd and 21, a deflected pass by Roquan Smith. He was also really killing it yesterday. Roquan Smith, he was absolute star, especially in the second half on defense. He was getting there. So now on 3rd and 21, it was a way drop back pass. Ended up being fumbled. However, Cleveland did recover it. So not too bad there. I mean, I wish we got it, but ended up putting them to 4th and 35. 4th and 35. So they have to punt the ball away. 1st and 10 again. Gus Edwards, he ends up gaining 2. 2nd and 8. This was a mishandled snap. It was a pass to Aguilar for 4 yards. And this snap was a little low, little shaky on this one. It's okay, though, because we still end up getting 4 by Nelson Aguilar. And wish he did more, but it's okay, because not every game is going to have the same stars. Yes, he was a big factor last week and in week 2. Week 2. He was a big factor in week 2, but it is what it is. After that, we take our first timeout of the second half. Now on 3rd and 4, Lamar kept it himself. This time he only gets 3. And this is where John Harbaugh likes to get crazy here. Because we all saw it last year, week 18, and in Wild Card Weekend, 4th and 1. 4th and 1. We all know how crazy John Harbaugh likes to get on 4th and 1 sometimes. We ended up going for it. Lamar got it. Fooled you, didn't I? Lamar ended up getting it on 4th and 1. He just pulled it, ran to the outside. We faked everybody going left. So, technically, if you were watching this, faked everybody going left. He ran right to the outside, and we were all golden here. So now, 1st and 10, Gus Edwards. He ends up, apologies. Jumped back a little far. I jumped ahead a little bit. On 1st and 10, Lamar ended up getting sacked. This one was for a loss of 7. So now on 2nd and 17, Gus Edwards here, he ends up getting it, but this time it was for a loss of 4. So now on 3rd and 21, we throw an incomplete pass. 4th and 21, punt the ball away. Like I said, Cleveland's defense was crazy yesterday. Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now on 1st and 10 for Cleveland, they end up getting a 16-yard catch. 1st and 10, they end up getting a false start flag, so that backs them up by 5. Now on 1st and 15, ball got knocked away. I'm not 100%, I can't remember off the top of my head. I thought I wrote it down of who ended up knocking that ball away, but doesn't matter. 2nd and 16, Roquan Smith again. Roquan Smith again doing crazy things. Ends up getting a big sack on the quarterback, this time for a huge one. Absolutely crazy. They ended up passing it and getting a 13-yard gain anyway, but Roquan Smith still came in at not even a full second, half a second holding that ball longer would have been a full knockdown. Because as soon as he hit him, that ball had just let go from his hand. So Roquan Smith was crazy yesterday on that one. 3rd and 2, Cleveland end up only getting 1. 4th and 1, they decide to go for it. They end up converting on downs. 1st and 10, gain of 2 here. 2nd and 8, QP is sacked by Justin Matabike. And our defense, they were going crazy too. Our defense was going ham in the second half. Yes, we did good in the first half, but second half, Baltimore defense was absolutely much better. Now on 3rd and 21, Patrick Queen, he ends up deflecting the ball. So that was absolutely amazing. 4th and 21, Cleveland is forced to punt. So now it's 4:01 left in the third quarter here. First and 10, Melvin Gordon only gains about half a yard on this play. 2nd and 10 now, loss of 1. 3rd and 11, Devin Duvernay, he ends up gaining a full 10 here. But 4th and 1, we decide not to go for it this time because they probably expected us to try and do it again. We didn't want to be too crazy. So we end up deciding to just punt the ball away again. Jordan Stout out for the 6th time now, I believe, if I can count my punts in my head. That is the 6th punt of the day for us on Baltimore. Most we've had in a game in a while, too, I want to say. Now on 1st and 10 for Cleveland, there was a holding flag on them. 1st and 12, they end up gaining 9. 2nd and 3 gets them a loss of 2. They end up gaining 7 on 3rd and 5. And Maullet on Baltimore, or Mullet, M-A-U-L-E-T, Mullet, yes, Mullet on Baltimore, he ended up getting hurt. I believe he'll be okay for next week, but not sure how the injury report is going to go throughout the week. We'll have to see what practice and see how everybody's feeling by Friday, see what their injury report is right before the weekend. Next, we are going to 1st and 10 again for Cleveland. Their quarterback ends up taking the first himself. There was a holding call again on Cleveland. So a lot of penalties flying back and forth today. A lot more on Cleveland than us, but it is what it is. You know, I'll take that. Personally, I'd rather have all the penalties on the opposite team than us because we know how we get after some missed penalties last week. Not going to say for what or from whom, but we're over it. We're past week 3. We're past week 3. Past week 3. That is how we end the third quarter. Now, final quarter of the game. 1st and 18. Broderick Washington ends up getting a sack on the quarterback. Absolutely nuts. Like, this man just busted through the line, said, get out of my way, I'm coming through, takes him down for a loss of 6. So now on 2nd and 24, QB gets out of trouble. He ends up taking it for 3. Now on 3rd and 11, there was an incomplete pass here. So 4th and 11, they have to punt the ball away. And this was, I want to say stupid, but hilarious at the same time for this here. So on their 4th and 11 punt, there was a flag on the play for Baltimore for having 12 men on the field. So that gives them 5 yards. So this time, 4th and 6, Cleveland says, you know what? Let's go for it. There was a false start on Cleveland. So that backs them up back to 4th and 11, and they're like, yeah, we'll punt. So they bring the PAT unit out, get lucky, bring the offense back out, then have to bring the PAT unit back out, right back. It's just that series of events. I'm just sitting there watching like, that's comedy. That's funny. And with that, that puts us at 13-23 now, left in the game. 1st and 10, Gus Edwards ends up losing 2 here. But on 2nd and 12, he ends up getting that 2 back. He made up for it. So now on 3rd and 10, Lamar has to dump it away. So 4th and 10, we end up having to punt the ball away. However, there was an illegal formation on Cleveland covering the snappers. So I'll explain this one here because I know this is a very rare kind of penalty on a defense. So when you line up on the offense, you line up for PAT, you got tackle, guard, center, guard, tackle. And then on defense, you have guard. You have people either covering the gap, so in between guard and tackles, guard and centers, or you got people lined up over tackles and guards. You cannot line up over the center here on PAT, and that's what they got that illegal formation for. So if you line up over the center, that's an automatic flag, and that's what ended up giving us. That's what ended up having to give them less yards. That ended up giving them a flag. So that was nice. I'll take that. Granted, we still had to punt the ball away, but it was still good. So now 1st and 10 for Cleveland. They end up gaining 11. 1st and 10, Roquan Smith. He ends up blowing up this play. Ends up loss of a 4 for the Browns here. Now on 2nd and 14, there was a loss of 2. And there was a flag here. And it was a face mask by Patrick Queen. And I'm going to say it. I was, at first, because even Patrick Queen said to the ref, don't do it. I didn't see the face mask. I'm looking, I'm like, I feel like they're reaching here, but when they show the replay, I'm like, okay, yup, that was a clean one. Yes, he let go before, like, he hit the ground or anything, but he still yanked that face mask, and you can't do that. Cannot yank that face mask. However, like I said, at first I was like, little shaky on their part, but then when you see the replay, it's like, okay, you don't want to see them get called for that big of yards because a face mask is a decent penalty. I know, like, it flip-flops. Some people say it's a 10-yarder. Some people say it's a 15-yarder. It just depends on the game. It depends on the team. I've seen it go for 10. I've seen it go for 15. It's back and forth, whatever, honestly, but I'm like, you hate to see these penalties, but sometimes you gotta take the good with the bad. 1st and 10, Browns, they end up gaining 11. 1st and 10, they gain 9. I started reading again. 1st and 10, they gain 9. So 2nd and 1, they end up converting on downs. 1st and 10 was an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10, there was an incomplete pass again. This time it was an illegal shift on the Browns, so that backed them up. And 3rd and 10 now, Geno Stone. Oh boy. Boom. Quarterback throws. Geno Stone wide open by himself of all people. I think the QB of Cleveland forgot who he was playing for. Threw it wide to Geno Stone. This man says, I'll take that. Thank you. Runs it back for a beautiful 25 yards, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful pick 6 by Geno Stone. So I have to clap it up. Clap it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. chef's kiss. Because our defense, like I said, Cleveland's defense is what, I don't want to say is, we'll say maybe had number 1 in the league, or in the league going into week 4, but Baltimore's defense this game, crazy. Because this was absolutely beautiful on Geno Stone's part. Now 1st and 10, Gus Edwards, he ends up gaining 4. So now on 2nd and 6, Gus Edwards unfortunately had to take a loss of 3. 3rd and 9, our boy Patrick Ricard, he ends up taking it for the first down. Everybody says Patrick Ricard ain't all that. I beg to differ. Patrick Ricard, ladies and gentlemen, absolute beast here. So 1st and 10, Gus Edwards, no gain here. Next one, 2nd and 10, he ends up getting only 5 because he ended up taking it and he had to dive for it too. Like he ended up diving for it. 1st and 10, our boy 3rd and 5, I apologize. Our boy Mark Andrews, throw it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. His second TD of the day. Mark Andrews. And I have to give her a shout out because she's always been my biggest supporter. My mother, she has Mark Andrews on her fantasy team. And I instantly text her at this. I'm like, I hope you have Mark Andrews in because he was putting up points. So all you who play and watch and do fantasy, make sure you have Mark Andrews as a tight end. Little free advice because he'll give you points. He'll put them up for you. But this was an absolutely beautiful one right here. That puts us up to 28-3 with 5:56 left in the entire game. Now on 1st and 10 for Cleveland, gain of 3, 2nd and 7, loss of 2, 3rd and 9, incomplete pass, 4th and 9, Browns punt it, 4:34 left in the game. 1st and 10, Tyler Huntley checked in. We got down right to the end of the last 5 minutes. John Harbaugh, Todd Monken, our OC, everybody says, you've done your duty. We're solid. Huntley, go get in there. And it's okay, honestly. It's better that we check in our secondary third quarterback to save our guys for next week, which is good. I'm very happy that we did. Like, it always makes sense. Usually when we were up by such a big score and a big lead going in, even maybe in at half or even the end of the third quarter, usually if we're up by a decent amount, 2-3 touchdowns, we check them in earlier. And I was honestly a little surprised we kept playing Lamar all the way up till right to the last 5 minutes of the game. But it's whatever. Tyler Huntley checked in here now. So 1st and 10, little toss to Zay Flowers for a loss of 6. 2nd and 16, Tyler Huntley ended up getting it for only a gain of 2. 3rd and 14, he ended up keeping it himself for a gain of 4. So now, or a gain of 6. So now on 4th and 8, we punt the ball away. But there were 2 flags here. It was a false start on Isaiah Likely and some other inexplicable flag that nobody really cares about. That didn't really do anything. So with 2:15 left in the game, we end up punting the ball away. 1st and 10 for Cleveland, gain of 3, and that literally hit the 2-minute warning. Like I said, it was 2:15 when we switched sides, so whatever. 2nd and 7 now, gain of 5 for Cleveland. 3rd and 2, they convert on downs. 1st and 10, there was a big run, and I tried to count the yards, but they were moving so fast, they didn't get a chance. They didn't say it or even show the replay, so I didn't get the chance to really know how many. So 1st and 10, they throw an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10, they throw it for an interception. And this is crazy here. Last 5 seconds, they throw the ball to the end zone, trying to get points up. Clock hits 0-0. Our stud from last week, Kyle Hamilton, in the end zone, interception. The clock's over. Clock's 0-0. Game's done and over with. It's in the bag. But Kyle Hamilton said, nah, hold my trophy for a minute. Boom! Gets it in an interception. Because I gave him MVP last week. I'm not going to give him MVP this week. But still, absolutely awesome. Absolutely amazing way to go out and end the game with us winning 28-3. Baltimore, big dubs on our part, Ravens flock. Like I said, we made up for last week in that unfortunate game. However, absolutely amazing. I got to say, at the end of the day, we played one heck of a game. One heck of a game. Yes, we had some troubles here and there. Our issue was having to punt the ball out a lot, 7 times by the end, whatever. But like I said, Cleveland's defense was no joke. Their defense was absolutely amazing yesterday. They really had our offense killing it. Like, yes, we had to grind a little harder, but that's okay. Iron sharpens iron, as they say. And all I have to say, we got to watch the penalties at the end of the day. And for this week's MVP, it's got to go to Roquan Smith. He was making plays on defense. Sack here, ball tip there, sack again, tip again for an interception. Like, our defense went nuts yesterday, but Roquan Smith does get the MVP trophy this week. And like I said, as I've been praising, our defense did so much better this week. We didn't get crazy penalties. Yes, there was that unfortunate face mask. Yes, our offense had a few penalties here and there. But overall, at the end of the day, like I said after last week, the penalties, they lightened up a whole lot. So we absolutely went baller status. And last thing, I'm glad we switched up our offense. I'm glad we hit the grindstone and did more running this week than we did. Because last week, we did do a lot of passing. So this week, I'm so glad we ended up doing a lot more and a lot much better. And all I have to say is hats off to Baltimore Ravens flock, ending the game, like I said, 28-3, final score against the Cleveland Browns. Next week, this week, this Sunday coming up, we are on the road again, taking on another divisional rival. As they say, hasn't been really too much of a rival in some odd years, but we will be on the road again in Pittsburgh, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, 1 p.m., and I can't wait to watch it. Baltimore Talk fans, Ravens flock, thank you again for watching another episode, and welcome to the all new. If you're new here, thank you for watching. If you're an old fan, thank you for coming back and always showing your love and support. And you guys can now, aside from listening on rss.com, also, as I said, we're on Spotify too. But even better, this one here, this video, this recording is going up on YouTube. All you got to do, look up my name, Anthony Propst, Anthony Propst. Look me up on YouTube. You'll find everything, all of Season 1 of Baltimore Talk, everything up until now at this point in Season 2. And follow me on Instagram as well and on Twitter. Link in the descriptions. And thank you for watching Baltimore Talk. I will see you later. Bye-bye.